officers have been working very hard. We've met every Friday for the last 2 months, I think. And we've practiced, we've talked, we've tried to get together how we could do fundraising. Why do we need fundraising events? To raise money, that's right. We have students that went to the Raleigh Fair to actually compete in what we call Fantasy Fair. Now, when I heard that, I thought, okay, they're just going to do goofy hairstyles. But if you ask some of the ladies that went, and we had a video that we posted to show you what it was like, it wasn't only the hair. It was everything from the makeup to the costumes, complete fantasy. So a lot of our students went. I think we learned a lot. And so we're going forward, hoping that next time we go, we're going to make first place. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? Okay, so we have competition coming up in March where we're going to carry some more students. It might be the cosmetology department. It could be the welding department. How many welding students do I have in here? Okay, so start giving some thought to what if you want to be one of the welding students that compete. So we're going to go to, this time it'll be Fayetteville Community College is where we're going. And if we do well there, well, there's a state competition that we could get to go to in Greensboro. And if we really do good in Greensboro, we can get invited to go to the nationals. So let's introduce your officers for the 2015-2016 academic years for Southeastern Community College. I'm going to begin with Mr. River Hammonds. Mr. Hammonds is the vice president of our chapter. He is from the Criminal Justice Department, and his advisor is Mr. Jody Taylor. If you are interested in going into that program, please see Mr. Jody. He would be the one that could get you in to any of the events. Our next officer is Jaleesa Graham, and she is our secretary. She is from our early childhood program. Her advisor is Miss Natalie Ratkin. Miss Ratkin, would you please stand? I thought I saw her. There she is. Rackley, I pronounced it wrong, I'm sorry. Our next officer is Brielle Falk. She is our treasurer, and she is coming from our cosmetology area. Her advisor is Mr. Jonathan Hester. Mr. Hester, would you please rise? Our next officer is Miss Kenyatta Childress, and she is our reporter. She is from our broadcasting and production technology program. Her advisor is Miss Amanda Hilburn. Miss Amanda. Our next officer is Miss Amy Stackhouse. She holds 2 positions. She holds our historian and our parliamentarian officer position. She comes from our computer information technology program. Her advisor is Dr. Lisa Bryan. Dr. Bryan, it's over there. Our final officer is Miss Zelda Avens, and she is our president. She is from our medical office administration program. Her advisor is Miss Sheila Harris, myself. These are your officers for the 2015-2016 year.
The meeting will come to order, and the thought for today will be given by our Vice President.
If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, and become more, you are our leader.
The emblem is symbolic on the SkillsUSA organization. You are about to witness the emblem ceremony in which the meaning of each component of our emblem will be given and the significance of the colors described. Madam Parliamentarian.
This shield represents patriotism. The shield denotes our belief in democracy, liberty, and the American way of life. Madam Reporter.
The gear represents the industrial society. The gear, symbolic of the industrial society, denotes the independence and corporation of the individual working with labor and management for the betterment of mankind. Madam Treasurer.
The torch represents knowledge. The flaming torch reflects the light of knowledge, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. In the light of the torch, progress will be made toward the vocational goals of the individual. Madam Secretary.
The orbital circle represents technology. The circle represents the challenge of modern technology and the training needed to accept and master new technical frontiers and the need for continuous education. Mr. Vice President.
The hand represents the individual. The hands portray a search for knowledge and our desire to acquire a skill. In the process of obtaining knowledge and skill, we will develop a respect for dignity of work and become productive and responsible citizens. Madam Historian.
With the affixing of the golden hands, we add the final official color of SkillsUSA. The colors of the emblem represent our organization. Red and white represent the individual states and the chapters. Blue represents the common union of the states and the chapters. And gold represents the individual, the most important element of SkillsUSA. Madam President.
All the components constitute our emblem. Separately, they could be applied to many organizations, but as one unit, they represent the fundamental principles and purposes of our organization. The emblem represents SkillsUSA. Let us stand and respect the flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to welcome an 18-year-old early college high school student that has been in SkillsUSA for 4 years. She has been across the country competing in culinary arts. She is a regional officer for the Southeast region, currently holding the president's position, and has been an officer holding different positions for the past 3 years. She currently holds office position as state reporter. Welcome, Caitlin Souls.
Hey everybody. Oh, I don't like that thing. Sorry. I can't hear you. Hey everybody.
Hello. What's up?
There you go. Hey, I'm Caitlin Souls. I'm 18 years old. I am a high school student. I graduate in May. And I have been in SkillsUSA for 4 years. And y'all, let me tell you, SkillsUSA is a great organization, especially since it is student-led. You go and you compete and you're like, I can't do this. I can't do this, but believe me, you can do this. I went to nationals in Missouri 2 years ago. I was 16 at the time, and I was the only one without a degree, the youngest one there. And I came in 33rd in the nation, so I can't complain about that. But if you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I can do this, y'all, I'm telling you, you can do this. SkillsUSA is about the skills that you don't know that you have. And everybody has skills. You have skills that you may know, you may not know what you have, but I promise you, you know. And through this organization, you'll find out your skills. But I'm fixing to introduce a man that is a proud alumni of SkillsUSA. Mr. Payton has been involved in an organization for more than 15 years. He believes firmly in SkillsUSA's ability to develop champions at work and the power the organization has to change the lives of its members. Today, he works to accomplish that mission across the state as the Executive Director of SkillsUSA North Carolina. It is with great honor I introduce to you Mr. Payton Holliday.
Hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Good. I think Caitlin tried to get you fired up. How's everybody doing today? Good. Okay. All right. We're getting there. Well, one of the things that we take a lot of pride in SkillsUSA is our energy and enthusiasm, not just for being up front of people like we've got up here today, which I think we need to give a little energy and enthusiasm to this wonderful officer team because they did a great job of the opening ceremony. Let's hear it for them, y'all. Yeah. You know, when we get folks together like this, and I'm going to tell you, I've been all across the state and have been doing this business for a long time, and this is the largest chapter kickoff meeting I've ever been to in my history in SkillsUSA. So give yourselves a big round of applause, Southeastern Community College. Well, I say, Ms. Harris said when she wanted to do this, she wanted to do it big, and she's not playing around. I'm telling you right now, y'all are neck and neck, tied for first place for the largest chapter in the state, Southeastern Community College. In your first year, this is the first year of SkillsUSA on y'all's campus, and y'all are already getting close to being the largest chapter in the state. That is incredible. And what that tells me is that here at Southeastern Community College, we've got incredible, dedicated faculty and staff that believe in developing each and every one of their students. And beyond that, we've got incredibly dedicated students. That's why you're sitting here right now. I'm sure that the free pizza probably had a little bit to do with getting you in the door, but once you get in the door, you're all here for a reason. How many of you are really passionate about the career that you're studying right now? Raise your hand. Are you passionate about what you're doing? Good. That's why you should be doing it. If we're doing something we're not passionate about, we're taking the wrong path in life, right? We got to do the things that we love to do. SkillsUSA is a great opportunity for you to enhance that passion and live that passion every day. And as I think about, Caitlin mentioned competitions. We've got all kinds of competitive events that I'm sure you're going to get excited about. We've got all kinds of leadership stuff to help you grow and develop as a young professional, as a mature professional, as whatever you want to be in life. We can help you get there and be that. But the most important thing in SkillsUSA is about developing champions at work. When we think about that slogan, champions at work, it means a lot of different things, but it really boils down to the fact that each and every one of you are champions in your own lives. You're a champion of your family, you're a champion of yourself, you're a champion in the career and technical field that you've selected to pursue as a passion. That's what you want to make your livelihood out of. But more than that, you're a champion for Southeastern Community College. You're representing this college everywhere you go. Everywhere you demonstrate your skill, you're representing this college, you're representing your instructors. But more importantly, you all are the message that we've got to have in this state where people are constantly telling us that career and technical education is it's okay. It's down here. Our community colleges, it's okay. They're right here. And putting all kinds of value on other types of education that may cost 10, 15, 20, 30 times as much as getting real skill that you can go out and make a real difference in your community right now, right this moment with, and make a real living instead of paying tons and tons of debt back for the rest of your life. I was just at a meeting this morning on the other end of the state. I've been driving across the state today, and we had Kayleen McCabe. She is the star of DIY Network's Rescue Renovation. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen that or not. But she has run into people all across this country that are saddled with tons of student debt, $60,000 to $100,000. And what she's traveling across the country right now doing is spreading the message of the value of learning to do something with your hands and your mind that means something in this world. Not just greasing the wheels up here like we do every time we read a book, but learning to do something real. And y'all learning to do something real. Y'all are learning to do something impactful. SkillsUSA is here to help you figure out how to take that to the next level. So we talked about the competitions. How many of you are familiar with SkillsUSA beyond knowing that it's a student organization and that we wear something that's coined? It's a very secret term. I'm about to let you on the club. You've seen the red jackets. I think we've got, would you mind standing up in the back? We've got a member who's been, look around her neck. That's one of those national medallions we're talking about. So how many of you know anything beyond SkillsUSA and the sexy red blazer? We like to call them the SRBs. Anybody know anything beyond that? Okay, good. We've got a fresh crowd here. So under that red blazer, there's a lot going on. That medallion that's around her neck is from the Job Skill Demonstration Competition, correct? So she competed in a contest called Job Skill Demonstration. You can demonstrate any kind of skill that you want to in that contest, and you got to take 5 to 7 minutes, demonstrate that skill, and explain it to a panel of judges. It could be cosmetology, it could be welding, it could be developing black and white photography, it could be anything. That's just one sample of the competitions. We've got tons of skill-specific competitions. Our cosmetology folks, were any of the folks over here compete at the state fair? Who competed at the state fair? All right, we've got a few over here. All right, in the fantasy hair and makeup contest, we've got skill-specific competitions for you, which are great. We've got leadership competitions. Anybody in here like to talk? Maybe the instructors could probably point those out a little more than the folks sitting around here. We've got public speaking competitions. We've got job interview competitions. We've got all kinds of competitions. You name it. There's an opportunity for you to get in SkillsUSA and develop your skill even further. And what's the great thing about these competitions? When we're looking at developing resumes to get jobs after our time in education, one of the things everybody looks at, or what experience do you have? What kind of real-world work experience do you have? Every one of our contests, ladies and gentlemen, is run to business and industry standards. We've got industry coming in to put on these contests for you. Why? Because they know you're the future of their workforce. They know you're their champions at work. They want to see your work. They want to watch you do what you do so that when you walk off of that floor, they can bring you into their company. They can bring you into their field of work. They can hire you on the spot. That's what these competitions can open up. You can get a nice medallion around your neck, and I know she's real proud of that medallion, and that means a lot, but the other connections that it opens up through our business and industry partners can open up tremendous doors for you. I'll share a quick example with you. We had a high school student. So SkillsUSA, it's for high school, it's for college. We're working on getting into middle school, so it can cover an entire spectrum of your life, being involved in SkillsUSA if you want to. There's no age limit on involvement in SkillsUSA. I competed against a gentleman in the job interview competition. He was 75 years old. He'd been an accountant all his life, decided he wanted to come back and learn how to weld. He did a welding contest and got involved in SkillsUSA and did a job interview competition. There's no age limit in SkillsUSA. But getting back to what I was saying, when we look at that business and industry support, business and industry spends about $35 million at the national level to support you all. $35 million because they know you're the future of the workforce. We had a young man from Chatham County. He was in high school. And just anybody not so good with math in here, struggle with math a little bit? I know I do. Yeah, sometimes they give me, thank you for being honest, right? Math can be a real struggle sometimes, and math was a struggle for him, particularly geometry. And he was failing, and just as soon as he turned 16, he was going to be out that door. He was dropping out of high school, and he was going to be done with it. Well, that same semester he signed up for that geometry class that was kicking his butt. He also got enrolled in a carpentry class. And in that carpentry class, they started cutting these hip rafters and these angles, and he started putting different projects together. And all of a sudden, all these angles and lines and measurements started making a little more sense to him because he was getting to touch it. He was getting to experience it. Geometry started making a little more sense, but he was still, the school thing wasn't much for him. He was ready to get out. Well, that carpentry instructor decided that he was going to try to talk him into competing in SkillsUSA. So he talked him into competing in the carpentry contest. And this was the kind of guy, I don't know if y'all have any friends like this, but if he did something, he was pretty confident that he was the best at it, right? He was going to be the best. And he said, carpentry contest, man, go ahead, just give me the medallion. Give it to me, right? Take it off your neck, give it to me. I know I'm going to win this thing, right? He was that confident in his abilities as a carpenter. So he goes to this carpentry competition. He struts out on the floor. He's got his toolbox. He sits it down. And right next to him, a girl walks up. And she's about 100 pounds, soaking wet. And he just laughs. He's like, this is my competition. Ladies and gentlemen, when the dust settled, that girl that sat down next to him walked across the stage, second place person in the state. Guess where he got? Any ideas? Didn't even finish in the top 10. He was down around 15th place in the state. Went in there all cocky and ready to go thinking he was the best carpenter in the country. Didn't even finish in the top 10. Well, that shot his ego pretty good. And he thought about quitting school, but he said, I can't go out like that. I got to come back and compete in that carpentry contest one more time. Signed up for another year of carpentry. This was going to be the year he was going to win that contest. Went in bound and determined to win that contest. Guess what place he got that year? 8th place. Came in 8th place second year. Still, it's frustrating him. His math grades are improving a little bit, by the way. More carpentry, more math understanding. He's sticking around a little bit more and said, man, I can't go out like that. I've got to win this thing. So he decides to come back. He's going to go to school one more year, and he's going to compete in that carpentry contest again. He goes in that carpentry contest. Man, he gives it all he's got. He is confident. And he's grown and developed a little bit, too. He's not as cocky. He just wants to go out there and do good work. And he goes out there and does good work. Guess what place he got? 3rd place. 3rd place in the state. Still did not get first place. However, guess what he did get, though? He got his high school diploma at that point in time. He had stuck it out long enough, started understanding. He got his high school diploma. Well, that won't satisfy him enough because he was still really upset that he didn't get first place in that carpentry competition, that he didn't have a medal hanging around his neck like she does. And so he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to my local community college. I'm going to take a carpentry course. He went to that local community college. He signed up for a carpentry course. He came back. This was going to be the year, ladies and gentlemen. He was going to go out there. He was going to win first place. He was going to go to Kansas City and just rock it at the national conference. He goes in, and man, he feels so good about his project. Guess what place he finally got? Second place. Second place, ladies and gentlemen. Still ain't there. Still climbing that mountain. So you know what he decided to do? I'm going to come back for another year of community college. I'm going to take me another carpentry course. So he comes back for another year of college. He comes back to that competition, and he works hard. He competes hard. And guess what place he gets at state conference that year? First place. Finally gets first place. And he finally gets to go to Kansas City, compete at the national conference. 16,000 people from all across the country around him. Business and industry. $35 million worth of support all around him. And he is focused in on that carpentry contest, ladies and gentlemen. And he walks out there, completely different person than he walked in when he was just getting started in high school. That cocky attitude was left at the door because he has just decided and made up his mind. No matter what he does on that contest floor, it is going to be his best. And if his best is not enough to get first that day, that's okay because he's going to walk out knowing that he did his best. So he walks out there, ladies and gentlemen, and he does his absolute best. And when he walks off of that floor, 3 of the judges come up and surround him. And they say, son, where do you live? In North Carolina? Okay, that's great. Would you be willing to move? Well, I never really thought about it before. This was his first time on an airplane, by the way. Never really thought about it before. But, yeah, I guess I could. Well, how about this? I'll pay you $50,000 to come and relocate to Arkansas and come work for my company. Another fellow jumps in, man, forget that. Come to Tennessee, I'll give you 60. And they start, that 3 people going back and forth over this young man that not 4 years prior to that was a high school dropout waiting to happen. And here he is at the national competition, getting offered $60,000, relocation package, and a future because he decided to stick with it. So when he walked off that competition floor that day, before he even found out the results of the contest, he had achieved so much just in that 4-year period. And ladies and gentlemen, that year he was crowned second place in the nation. Second best carpenter in the nation, but second doesn't mean half as much as the fact that he was worthy enough to be wanted by industry. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about in Skills USA. Our job is to help connect you to opportunities. We know you could be doing a lot of things with your time. And Skills USA is something, it's so near and dear to my heart because when I started in this organization 15 years ago, I started as a high school freshman. I started as someone that was, I don't know, do anybody, y'all got brothers and sisters? Anybody got little brothers and sisters? Yeah, about how much does a first grader weigh? Throw that out. What do you think? What, about 50 pounds? Somewhere in there, about as much as a sack of fertilizer, bag of potatoes? Yeah. Check this out, 111 pounds, first grade, right here, right? So you can imagine, I was a big boy, literally twice the size of everybody else in my class. They told me, they wouldn't let me play football. I was too fat for football. Can you imagine? Have you seen these guys? Did y'all watch any of the NFC and AFC championship game? How can you be too fat for that, right? They're getting paid millions of dollars, dating supermodels. I couldn't even get a girl to hold my hand, probably because I had a high C and chicken leg in each one of them. But you know, that's beside the point, small details. But you know, as I grew up a really big boy, things that look different often get picked on, and I got picked on, and so my confidence spent most of its time down here in the basement. I just didn't have much confidence in myself until one day I was walking out of a masonry classroom at Northwood High School, and an instructor grabbed me by the arm and said, son, I see something special in you. I know you're not son, just play along. Son, I see something special in you. I want you to join Skills USA. I want you to do this job interview competition. For 2 weeks straight, I turned the man down. I thought, there is no way. All I knew about a job interview is, well, on the farm, if we can show up on time, we can throw the hay bales and we can scoop the poop and we can get the job, right? That's about all it needed. But he was talking about resumes and applications, and I just thought, there's no way. Finally, one day, he said the magic words. He says, son, if you do this job interview competition, I believe in you. I know you can do it. And if you do this, when we go to state conference, I'll buy you the best filet mignon you've ever had in your life. You know what I said? Sign me up. Let's go. With a filet mignon in mind, I joined Skills USA, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I could not have made a better decision in my life because that changed my life forever. I went from being that shy, quiet kid in the back of the classroom to someone who understood what it meant to believe in yourself, what it meant to have confidence. Even when everyone around you said you're too fat for this, or you're not good enough for that, or why are you studying that trade? It's not going to get you anywhere. Even when everybody else in the world is telling you all these negative things, that confidence that I got from being involved in SkillsUSA and learning what it meant to believe in myself, it has allowed me to change the course of my life and put me on the track I am now. Because I'm telling you, this organization, it can and will change your life if you let it. I promise you, it can. I went from being big jelly roll quiet in the back of the classroom to somebody that, well, Ms. Harris is probably going to tell me to shut up in a minute because we're probably getting pretty close to the end of the time. SkillsUSA can transform lives. I encourage you, as you think about your involvement here at Southeastern Community College, the competitions are attractive. There's a lot of opportunity to compete, to get in front of industry. That's great. But the real growth and development can happen right here. The magic is sitting in this room right now. The fact that there's over 100 people sitting in here right now. SkillsUSA, it becomes family. This group right here, even though y'all are in cosmetology, y'all are in welding, I don't know if y'all fix your hair in the morning, y'all probably spend as much time on your hair as they do on a welding project, right? There's a lot of different perspectives in this room. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we're all after the same thing. We're making ourselves better. We're trying to improve what we're doing, and we're trying to improve our communities. We're trying to improve our families. I want to help you get a jump start on that. Ms. Harris has worked very hard to pull this organization together along with a lot of other amazing faculty around here. I think we need to give them a round of applause because we wouldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for that faculty. And I'm here to tell you, Southeastern believes so much in you as students that they've invested in you to be members in this organization. They've invested so heavily in you this first year to bring you in, to let you experience everything that is SkillsUSA. I challenge you this year to take SkillsUSA for all it's worth. We're here to give. We're here to give to you. Take advantage of this organization. Don't let this moment pass by. Don't walk out of this meeting and think, that pizza was pretty good. If they have that again, I'll probably come back and check it out. You know, the pizza's a great side benefit, ladies and gentlemen. But if you stick with this while you're in school here, the impact it can have on your life, it can be so drastic. It can put you in a completely different place than you could ever imagine. My old instructor, he used to tell me, he said, Peyton, SkillsUSA is awesome, and you can run it as far as you want to run it. You just have to be willing to run. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to be willing to run today. When Mr. Hester comes to you and asks you about competing in a competition and gives you the contest packet and says, all right, you got about 2 or 3 months to get ready for this. Go. Take advantage of it. Go. When somebody says, hey, we've got a leadership conference coming up, and you're thinking, I don't know about this leadership stuff. I ain't much on that. Take advantage of it. It might stretch you a little bit. It might pull you outside that comfort zone. It might make you do something just a little bit goofy that you're not used to. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole lot of goofy that I've experienced in my life that's made me the man I am today, and I'd be nowhere near it if it weren't for that. So take advantage of those opportunities, even if it's stretching you some. Let SkillsUSA stretch you into being the champions at work the best you can be here at Southeastern Community College. So with that, I'm going to quit rambling and just see, are there any questions in the crowd about SkillsUSA? What your opportunities are, what it means to be a part of the organization? What questions do you have? Anybody got anything? Maybe it's about competitions, leadership. You know, when you look up here at this student leadership body, this is groundbreaking. This is the root of this organization. Eventually, we're going to need to elect new student leadership. These fine folks are going to graduate at some point in time. We're going to need a new cycle of officers to come in at some point. These officers are going to need your help in being on committees and helping getting activities going here on campus to help you grow. I encourage you to come and talk to them. Talk to them about the experience of being an officer. Talk to them about how you can help by serving on a committee to get more engaged in SkillsUSA. And talk to them about what it takes to apply to run for office next year so that you can get engaged in leadership and start taking that step to be a leader in the workforce. Because that's what we're all about, preparing for leadership in the world of work, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready to step up. Get ready to be that leader. Ms. Harris, is there anything else you want to?
Let's give him a hand.
All right, we'll turn it back over to your president. Thank you.
Miss Tiffany Britt, will you stand, please? I want to introduce Miss Tiffany. She's the new adjunct welding instructor here at Southeastern Community College, and she's an asset that can help you learn what it takes to win one of these medals. She won at
First at state, which led me on to the national, and I placed second in the nation in my division.
Let's give her a hand. Madam Secretary, have you any record of any further business to come before the meeting at this time?
I have none, Madam President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business that should come before this meeting? Since there is no further business to come before the meeting at this time, we will prepare to adjourn. And since the rule is the basic instrument of our work, it is particularly fitting that we select the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, to govern our lives. At this time, we will speak our pledge. Upon my honor, I pledge to prepare myself by diligent study and ardent practice, to become a worker whose services will be recognized as honorable by my employer and fellow workers, to base my expectations of reward upon the solid foundation of service, to honor and respect my vocation in such a way as to bring repute to myself, and further to spare no effort in upholding the items of SkillsUSA. I now declare the meeting adjourned until our next regular meeting or until a special meeting shall be called by the President. And I do want to say, I'm sorry. I forgot to thank everybody for coming. Thank y'all. And if anybody hasn't joined, we would love for you to join. There's ladies at the back, and they'll hold their hand up if you haven't joined yet.